Do we know when Jesus was born?
We have a good idea. Josephus tells us that there occurred an eclipse in the spring of 4 BC when Herod died, and we know that Jesus was born when Herod was still alive.
Historians think Jesus was born before April of 4 BC. Why? Evidence from Matthew 2:1 and Luke 1:5 tell us Jesus was born while Herod the Great was still living. Herod died while Jesus was less than 2 years old, according to Matthew 2:15. Historians have calculated Herod's death happened in 4 BC. They've done so on the basis of Roman records and the writings of Josephus, where he tells about an eclipse of the moon that occurred the year Herod died. That eclipse has been dated as happening about March 12th of 4 BC. Further, Josephus tells us that the Passover that year occurred soon after Herod's son, Archelaus, assumed the kingship. Historians know the Passover occurred on April 17th of 4 BC. Therefore, when you put all these facts together, since Jesus was born shortly before Herod's death, he must have been born before April 4 BC, or possibly even a short time before that in 5 BC.
What about the census under Quirinius?
Yes. This is still a major problem.
For those who believe that the Gospels are accurate historical records of Jesus' life, one of the most difficult problems in the New Testament is the census Luke presents in chapter 2, verses 1 and 2. Luke writes, "Now it came about in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that a census be taken of all the inhabited earth. This was the first census taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all were proceeding to register for the census, everyone to his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the city of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and family of David, in order to register along with Mary, who was engaged to him and was with child." So Luke tells us Augustus took a census before Jesus was born, and this was the reason Joseph took Mary to Bethlehem. However, critics say that there are 5 reasons why Luke's account is historically incorrect. First, there is no evidence of an empire-wide census in the reign of Augustus. If it occurred, wouldn't it be mentioned by one or another of the ancient historians who recorded this period? Second, in a Roman census, Joseph would not have been required to travel to Bethlehem, and he would not have been required to take Mary with him. Third, a Roman census could not have been carried out in Herod's kingdom while Herod was still alive. Fourth, Josephus records a lot about Herod, but does not mention a Roman census in Palestine. Fifth, Quirinius was not appointed governor of Syria and Judea until AD 6, many years after Jesus was born. In light of these facts, did Luke make vast historical errors in his chronology of events? All of this continues to be brought up by many critical scholars today.
Quirinius, we know, was governor leader in 86 when there was a census and there was a revolt led by a man called Judas of Galilee. And there are several proposed solutions to this well-known problem. One solution, of course, is that Luke was clearly in error here, that he didn't have correct information. And yet Luke is the most careful of all the gospel writers to try to correlate events in Judea with Roman events. He knows that Jesus was born in the reign of Augustus, that Jesus began his ministry in the reign of Tiberius, and so forth.